Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of this Wisdom Weavers retreat. Grounding in with you. Today, we're going to go into overcoming our inner critic and recognizing the roadblocks that prevent us from taking that step forward, from really sharing our true self. If you didn't already watch yesterday's Wisdom Weavers, I highly suggest that you pause this video and go back to start with yesterday's. Yesterday, we went into uncovering our why, to really connecting to our passion, to our unique sense of wisdom, and what it is that we're bringing into the world at this moment of time, and overcoming the small self so that we can begin to relate to the ripple of impact that is forms around us in the community and the world around us, as we say yes to showing up as being agents of change within our own life and within society. Today, we're going to go into first starting with understanding the fear of stepping forward into your power, the fear of really living your life completely free, being 100% expanded. This is a really deeply rooted fear that we can actually connect and track from history. So there's a history of heresy. Heresy is whenever someone has and holds and shares a compelling vision or thought that goes against the grain of authoritarian thought. We see this throughout church, throughout history. And so if you've ever felt crazy for believing in something that other people don't believe in, you're not alone. If you've ever been made to feel like a madman, a lunatic, or even insane for believing in something that other people don't see or don't necessarily relate to, you're not alone. This is something that has been ingrained in us and is a part of our ancestry. So let's see here, taking a look into this. So yeah, heresy is a contradiction contrary to what is genuinely accepted. And heresy, we can see this throughout time, for example, with Jesus Christ being hung on a cross. We can see this with the Salem witch trials, women being burned at the stake. We can see this with people throughout time being beheaded if they spoke against the king. We can see this as being strangled, being noosed. There are so many reasons that people have been silenced. And it's because if someone comes forward with a compelling ideology that goes against authoritarian ideology, it means authoritarians might begin to lose their power. And if they lose their power, they lose control. They lose control of the people. So the best way to claim control and to maintain control is to silence anybody else that might have a charismatic or compelling point of view. Unfortunately, this has happened again and again. One great example is Galileo. Galileo is known as today's modern father of science. Incredible discoveries that he made and that he contributed in science. And whenever Galileo was alive, he was put in prison for his entire life. That's how we honored the visionary in the present time. This has happened again and again. And today, what I want you to do is start to understand what part of you feels like you're crazy for believing in something that other people don't. What part of you feels like you're crazy because you don't fit in with your family, maybe you don't fit in with your coworkers, maybe you don't fit in with the society around you. And can you start to lean in on your own resources? And can you start to research and look for other like-minded individuals? One of the most important parts of my journey was finding the Design Science Studio. The Design Science Studio is an online cohort. They're going to be launching again next year, which I highly suggest everybody join. There's a lot of people that signed up for this course that are part of that digital cohort. And before I found the Design Science Studio, I felt really alone in my studies. I had spent a year, 2 years in the jungle incubating in vibrational medicine, quantum physics, new world development, sustainable community development, off-grid living. What will it look like for us to have a holistic lifestyle that is in support and sustaining the planet? And when you have a lot of information, but you don't have other people to talk to about it, it can be really isolating. You can feel lonely. You can feel scared and overwhelmed, like it's somehow your responsibility to create all the solutions in the world. And you can feel crazy. So whenever I found the Design Science Studio, who are artists around the world that are studying the Buckminster Fuller Institute's design theories, and they're contributing through art and through beauty to systemic design changes, I felt at home. Like I had finally found my people, people who really cared, people who wanted to do it, not through anarchy and not through causing chaos, but through beauty and through art. And that really empowered me a lot. So this is my invitation to you to, if you feel alone or isolated within whatever path of genius you're pursuing, is do research. Fill your mind with more examples of what it is that you're really inspired by, and find the people that are out there that are already doing it. This feeling of this fear of judgment. Yesterday, one of the things that I shared was fear of judgment is the number one reason people don't use their voice. Fear of judgment is the number one reason people don't take a chance. They don't take action on their visions. They don't take action on their intuition. And this fear of judgment is much more than just an emotional repercussion. The fear of judgment is tribal. In the past, if we were judged for what we were saying, we were, like I said earlier, excommunicated. We could be hung, we could be beheaded, we could be burned at the stake, we could be hung on a cross, or we could simply just be kicked out of our tribe. And if you're kicked out of the tribe, that means that you don't have the necessary resources that you need to stay alive. So this fear of sharing your vision, sharing your voice is really overcoming a fear of death. So we're going to go even deeper into that, overcoming a fear of death. In today, we're going to do a live tap, and we'll share that together. Part of understanding who you are and understanding your reality as it is, and the desire that you have to make it something new, is understanding your ancestry. So there are many ways to relate to ancestry, and I'll share with you the way that I personally relate to ancestry, and that way maybe you can use this information and expand on the way that you relate to yourself. For me, ancestry is the understanding that our relatives are continuing to live on through us. It's also connecting to the sentience of all life, such as the trees, the water, the rocks, the soil, the sand. They too are our ancestors. They too are holding the wisdom of all of creation within their being. And so, have you ever seen the rings of a tree? When you cut open a tree and you look at a tree and there's all these rings, and each ring signifies a year of that tree's life. Trees are really old. I look at us humans as the same thing. I'm not going to cut us open, but we are so much more than what we see right here. This composition of Marley, this material avatar of Marley, that is the spaceship suit skin of my spirit, of my soul, isn't just what we see right here. I am a compilation of my lineage all the way back. They are the rings of my tree. I could not exist without the rings of my tree. My ancestry doesn't only give me my genetic makeup that determines the color of my eyes, the color of my hair, the size of my body, the determination of my health. It also determines my personality, my proclivities, and my perspective. And the way that I really intimately relate to ancestry is I am constantly practicing presence to my thoughts, presence to my emotions. This reality outside of us is a game if you let it become an avatar of reflection, where we're constantly being informed by our environment. Oh, that's something that I can know about myself. That's something that I can take as information to create with, or to Rubik's Cube reorder into something more pleasing. And we're constantly creators of our reality whenever we're engaging with the reflection around us. And so for me, the ancestry lives through whenever I notice that I'm in an environment and I'm having thoughts or feelings, and I source that thought or feeling. Is that thought or is that feeling that I'm experiencing in this moment connected to me and my personal life experience? Or is it something deeper? Is it perhaps one of my grandparents, one of my great grandparents, my father, my mother, speaking, feeling, living through me in this moment? And so bringing it back to the idea of feeling crazy whenever you're sharing thoughts and concepts that aren't common, for me, I can recognize that whenever I am being really expansive and expressed and loud and noisy and fun and I'm feeling totally free, a part of me also feels like I'm overwhelming, like I'm too much, and that I'm crazy, and that I'm causing other people suffering. And I can identify those negative thoughts as being a correlation of my grandfather living on through my body. My grandfather was the most enthusiastic human being I've ever met. And I've met some very enthusiastic beings. He was loud, he was wild, he was uncontrollable, he was crazy. And he caused a lot of embarrassment, shame, and suffering to the people around him because he was uncontrollable. And so I recognize whenever I'm having thoughts of, I feel uncontrollable and insane right now, that that's me living out my grandfather's expression. And in that moment, I have an opportunity to live it out as my grandfather would, which is affirm other people's suffering by really creating discomfort in the field through my ecstatic expression. Or I can become present to what's going on, where these trauma markers are, and I can start doing the ancestral healing by in that moment choosing, is right now the appropriate time for me to be radically self-expressed? Am I actually harming anybody in this moment? Okay, cool. If I'm not harming anybody in this moment, including myself, then what is a way that I can choose to love myself more for being self-expressed? How can I more deeply accept myself? And it's through the self-love and the self-acceptance that the healing occurs. And when we do healing within ourselves, we're healing not only our current center timeline, we're doing this healing work for 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. Trauma markers are passed on in our genetics. Whenever you realize this, it can be disheartening. You know, people that have great grandparents in the Holocaust still hold the trauma markers in their body as though they too were in the Holocaust. That survival mechanism, that fear, that contraction, that scarcity, that abuse, that murder still lives in the physical body. So whenever we realize that we're carrying not only the DNA markers that determine our physical looks and appearance, but of our health, of our vitality, and of our emotional and mental well-being, that can seem overwhelming. Like there's a lot up against us. The good news is Dr. Bruce Lipton discovered epigenetics. And epigenetics is the science that teaches us that we can actually change the way that our DNA interfaces based off of our environment and our emotions. And so I'm going to share a little video with you right now to go into what is epigenetics and how can we actually reclaim our sovereignty so that we can be empowered agents of change within our own life to then show up in service as agents of change for the collective and in our community. All right, so let me pull this up here. Oh, right. Technology. Screen sharing. All right, here we go. Let me just make sure real quick. Great. Okay. Got to make sure we got sound on there, huh?
Bruce, you're well known as the father of epigenetics. Is there scientific proof that we are above our genes and not their victim?
This is the revolution that is taking over the world right now. When I was teaching in a medical school, we would teach that genes control our lives. So it was something we called genetic determinism. And this makes us victims of our heredity, meaning we didn't pick the genes, we can't change the genes, and the genes control us. So we feel we have no power over our lives. And that's what we've been teaching people for years. But the new science, epigenetics, is a revolution. Because epigenetics, make it simple, when I say genetic control, that means control by genes. That's what we were teaching. Your life is under genetic control. The new science, epigenetic control, sounds the same, but epi means above. So when I say epigenetic control, I'm saying control above the genes. And now we find that the control is not in the genes, but it is in the environment that we live in, and our perception of the world, how we see the world, controls our genetics. But if the environment or your perception controls the genes, then you can be a master, because you're the one that can change the environment. You're the one that can change your perceptions, your beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, you change your genetics. So that means we control our lives. We're not victims.
All right. So that is Dr. Bruce Lipton, one of my favorites. And he shares, I love to blend his work with Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, because they're both working with the power of belief as being conductors of shaping our reality. Joe Dispenza has an acronym that I've used a lot, and I'll share it here with you again. It's BETCAR, B-E-T-C-A-R. And that is that your beliefs create your emotions. Your emotions create your thoughts create your choices create your actions, and your actions create your reality. So your entire reality is constructed from your beliefs, and your beliefs come from that cultural conditioning, from your ancestry, and from your modern day choices, what it is that you're doing today. Did you know that the top 5 people that you spend your time around are who it is that you're most alike? So start to look at your immediate social circle and notice, do you have a fair span of diversity? Because if you're spending your time with people who are all the exact same as you, there's no challenge and there's very little room for growth and expansion. It's good to have healthy conflict, to have healthy differences in perspective and worldview, because it's from that place that we get to hybrid into deeper realms of understanding. And we also get to understand how we can begin to communicate and relate to one another in a way that might be more palatable, even if you agree that you don't have to agree. It's okay for us to have unique inspirations and ideas in life in general. So taking this even deeper, and how can we start to understand how beliefs run our life? Well, the majority of our thoughts are subconscious thoughts. So whenever we look at our beliefs creating our reality, that means that the majority of our reality is created from a completely unconscious place. We are unconsciously creating our reality. Today, I'm going to guide you into an EFT session, tapping, where we are activating the energy meridians of the body that are activated in acupuncture sessions. And we're going to start to reprogram our subconscious beliefs. And by reprogramming our subconscious beliefs, we will start to recognize that we have new waking thoughts coming into the mind. And those new thoughts are correlated with new emotions in the body and new choices, actions, and ultimately a new reality. So a little bit about tapping. My teacher for tapping is Sonia Sophia, and I did my teacher training with her this past fall. And it's one of the most powerful things I've ever done. And Sonia has generously gifted us with a month free membership to the World Tapping Circle that she founded. And I highly recommend that you take advantage of this offer. There's a library with hundreds and hundreds of videos, all personally guided by Sonia, on every single topic that you can imagine, such as money, power, sex, fame, etc. And today I'm going to teach you what she taught me, which is how we're going to use tapping to reprogram our belief system so we can be more in control of ourselves by being more self-aware of ourselves and connected to our emotions. Emotional awareness is self-empowerment. When you're aware of your emotions, you can be in a state of responding rather than reacting. Whenever you are not connected to your emotions, though, you might be putting a filter of, let's say, anger over a situation. And whenever there's that filter of anger over a situation, you're not clearly able to see another person or a group's intentions. Because you're angry, there's a part of you that's already judging them and not allowing for a full curiosity to reset what's actually occurring. So whenever we're tapping, we are unkinking hoses of trauma. And this trauma could have happened in this lifetime or in a former lifetime. We're working non-linearly here. And as you tap, we are going to be saying words of affirmation. And these words of affirmation are meant to, number one, stimulate the emotional experience that you're trying to avoid. We want to turn our feeling volume all the way up to really feel it. And number two, we're then going to tap on the main primary energy meridians to get that energy moving through the body while we know that we're in a safe environment to feel it all the way, while using words of affirmation to reprogram the mind as the energy is flowing. So the next time that you feel triggered or stimulated in a way that might have you come out of your center or act unconsciously, your subconscious already has the new words in there and the new beliefs in there to help you navigate the situation until it's no longer a traumatic reoccurrence. So we are going to work with the meridians, and I'll point those out to you. I'm going to start by tapping on the head, and go ahead and just follow along with me as I'm taking you through this. So tapping on the top of the head here, all the way to the back, over the ears. And as you're tapping, you don't need to tap hard. We're not beating our body into submission or awareness. You can tap really lightly. It's just about waking up the body. Staying connected to your breath, tapping above the eyebrows here. Breathing in and out, letting your body get relaxed, and maybe you're already starting to feel emotions. Tapping on the temples, the side of the eyes, nice and light. Tapping on the cheekbones, beneath the eyes, following along here. Tapping above the lips. Tapping below the lips. Tapping on the chest. Taking a deep breath in. Sometimes whenever we do this work, so many emotions can come up that we want to leave the body. So really staying connected to your breath helps you stay in the body. And then I'm going to put the camera down here just for a moment. We're going to tap below the ribs. Tap on the side of the ribs. Tapping on the wrist here. Tapping on the top of the thumb by the thumbnail. This camera back up. Tapping on the top of the finger by the fingernail. Top of the middle finger by the fingernail. The bottom side of the ring finger by the fingernail. The top side of the pinky by the pinky nail. And the karate chop side of the hand here. And then same meridians on the opposite hand. Staying connected to your breath and coming back to the head. Those are the meridians. So following along as we do this tap, I'm going to share screen with you and bring you into an emotional core causes sheet. So first, I want you to bring to mind an example of somewhere in your life where you are experiencing imposter syndrome, somewhere that you feel like an imposter. Maybe you keep making yourself a promise, like, I'm not going to eat a bar of chocolate every single day, right? Whatever that is. And then you keep finding yourself going for the chocolate late at night when you just want that little something to fill you up and feel good inside. Maybe you keep calling this person that you know you're not going to receive any benefit from calling. Maybe you keep putting off this huge project that you're terrified to do because you know how powerful it's going to be. Whatever it is that you are putting off and procrastinating is making you break trust with yourself. We can tell ourselves again and again, I'll do it tomorrow, right? But today was yesterday's tomorrow. There's no time like the present to become in your sovereignty, to say yes to being totally free, and to really allowing yourself to live your life in alignment, completely expressed. So think of that area in your life where you feel like an imposter, where you feel like a fraud, where you feel like you have something really big and special to share with people, but they're not going to get it. They're going to judge you. Somewhere that you're afraid of being seen all the way because you don't know how other people are going to think about it. And I'm going to pull up this emotional core causes sheet, and I'm putting the link in the chat. Just a moment. All right. So for replay, this link is going to be in the digital documents sheet. And let's go ahead and screen share. I'll take you through this step by step. Mhm. Okay, I'll put some music on. So while we take some time to fill this out. Mhm. All right. Let me see where this window is. There we go. Doing your best, taking some time to fill this out. Sampa. All right. So taking time to finish filling out the sheet, and I'm going to guide us through a tap together using the meridians that I just told you about. And we're going to start just by massaging right here underneath the collarbones, and maybe you're already beginning to feel some emotions come through. That's fantastic. Point is to turn up the volume on your emotions all the way so you can feel them right here, right now in a safe environment so that you're not triggered and handicapped by them when you find yourself in a public space. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and tapping on the chest, following along with me. This feeling of being an imposter has been going on for a very long time. There's a part of me that's afraid to let other people know who I really am. And go ahead and just begin to speak out loud. What is it that you feel like you're hiding? That you're hiding from other people? Or that maybe you're not taking full ownership of? Perhaps it's something that you really want to bring into this world, but you don't know how. You're feeling all alone in it. There's a part of me that feels like I'm a little crazy because I see something that other people don't see. Because I want to do something that seems really big. And sometimes it feels like it's totally impossible. There's a part of me that feels all alone in this process. And even though I know it isn't true, it's holding me back. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And this issue, saying your issue out loud, whatever it is causing a lot of problems. It's causing a lot of frustration and shame and guilt. And there's a part of me that's saying, isn't this over yet? I should be past this. This should be easier by now. I've done a lot of work and I've already learned this lesson. But not even this impatience is helping me get past my resistance of my fear, of my worry, and my self-doubt. Because there's still a very large part of me that's terrified what people might think and do and say if I really take action on making my dreams a reality. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. There's a part of me that's been judging myself. Just say what those judgments are out loud. What part of you is judging yourself for dreaming really big, for wanting to become an agent of change within your life and in your community? There's a part of me that feels like I'm too big. There's a part of me that feels like I'm too much. Like I'll take up too much space. Like I'll make people angry. I might hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody might feel left out. I feel safe right now. I feel safe being who I am right now. And a part of me wants to stay the same forever. A part of me wants to be like this forever. So just give yourself permission right now to feel that. To feel the part of you that never wants to change. Part of you that really likes things the way they are. That really loves yourself the way that you are. That is completely happy and fulfilled. And let's just give that part of ourselves some love right now. I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself completely. I even love and accept myself, the part of myself that feels uncomfortable, like I've outgrown this version of myself that I love so much. And let's just be with that for a moment. Let's be with the emotions of outgrowing ourselves. Outgrowing ourselves. I'm in this time of transition. And a part of me is scared. And part of me is scared to grow. Part of me is scared to really spread my wings because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I'm going to become. And so I've been procrastinating. And I've been dragging my feet. And I've been making up reasons and excuses why I should just stay the same. because things are pretty good right now. Things are really good right now. And they could just keep being this way. But I know that there's a part of me that isn't going to be silenced, that isn't going to be persuaded or pushed down in a box. And that part of me is my higher self, calling me further into my self-actualization. Taking a deep breath in. And even though this is really scary, it's possible that I can start to take the action, that I can start to walk the path to become more of who and what I really am. Because I love and accept myself. And deep down, I know that I deserve this. Deep down, I know that I can do this. Deep down inside, I know that the universe has my back and that I have my back. I love and accept myself. And I'm choosing right now to believe in myself, to take a stand for my life, to take a stand for my freedom, to take a stand for my sovereignty. I'm saying yes to feeling more alive than I've ever felt in my whole life. And part of that is I'm saying it's okay to feel the fear. And so right now, I just want you to let yourself feel the fear, to feel the terror of stepping into the unknown, of letting yourself be really seen, and of making those big changes to become somebody new, someone who you've always been, someone who you'll always be, but something new. Something is changing in your life right now, and change can be scary. So just honor that. This part of me, repeating after me now, this part of me that's afraid of change, it's been here for a really long time. I've been afraid of change for most of my life. So I just want you to feel right now, the first time in your life where something really unexpected happened, where you felt like you were totally out of control, that made you feel sad, that made you feel lonely, that made you feel empty inside and disconnected. Bring yourself back to that place. Maybe you were just a child. There's a part of me, repeating after me now, there's a part of me that's been hurting for a long time. Taking a deep breath. There's a part of me that's been feeling disconnected from a long time. Like I've been disconnected from life. Like I've been disconnected from the joy of life. And this has been really hard. When I was, just say how old you were the first time you recognized this experience. When I was just a child, things happened and I felt completely out of control. I felt like I had no say in the matter. I felt invisible and like I didn't exist. Like my emotions and my experience weren't valid. And this was a really hard feeling. I felt all alone. I didn't want this change. I didn't ask for it. And I didn't expect it. Taking a deep breath in. So now just speak out loud while tapping. What happened? What happened to you earlier in your life? Something unexpected, something big that shook your reality, that made it unsafe for you to be you, that made you feel unsupported, unstable, like the things that you thought would be there for you weren't there anymore, and you were helpless. You didn't know how to do it on your own. That feeling of being disconnected. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. This experience of not being in control was really hard. There's a part of me that's been hurting and resisting change ever since. And I can keep resisting change. I can resist change for the rest of my life if I want to. So just let yourself feel that now. Give yourself permission. Really give yourself permission to resist that change. And I want you to imagine yourself in 10 years' time. If this thing that you've been wanting to do, that you've been knowing needs to happen, a thing that's right around the corner, but it feels impossible, it fills you with trepidation. If in 10 years' time, you still hadn't taken any action, what will have happened in your life? Who would you have become for hiding how you really feel and what you really want? And what would be happening all around you as a result of you staying in this imposter syndrome? The relationships, your home, your career, turning the feeling volume all the way up now. I want you to imagine that you've gone your whole life never taking that chance, never taking the risk. And we're coming into your dying day. It's your dying day, and you never did that thing that you knew you wanted to do. And imagine how that feels. How does your body feel? Who are you? More importantly, who are you not? What did you miss out on? And how did these stagnant emotions of shame, grief, regret, self-denial, frustration, how did they build up and project themselves into other aspects of your life? Breathe that all the way in, just feeling it as much as possible right now, breathing it in. And repeating after me. Even if I went the rest of my life not making a change and denying who I really am, I would still love and accept myself. I love and accept myself no matter what. And even if I didn't make any changes, even if I kept on hiding, even if I kept on compensating, people pleasing, procrastinating, making excuses for the rest of my life, I would still love and accept myself. So now I just want to connect back to that earlier time in your life where that great change happened, where you were unsupported, where you felt like nobody was on your team. You didn't ask for it, you didn't expect it. And I want you to connect to that earlier version of yourself and just tune into, what did you need? What did you need in that moment? Just closing your eyes and asking yourself, what do you need? How can I support you? What are you feeling? Letting that voice be heard. Listening to that part of yourself that had to be shut off, to be contained and compartmentalized so you could survive, so that you could succeed. We're going to open that box now and let you come into it. You're safe now. You can feel those feelings. You can see those things. And you can give it to yourself right now. Taking a deep breath in and repeating after me. I'm coming back home to myself now. I'm remembering who I am. I'm remembering who I've always been. And just say it out loud now. Who are you? Who have you always been? I know my truth. No one can take my truth away from me. I love and accept myself. And I'm choosing to reclaim my life. I'm choosing to reclaim my sovereignty. I am creating my own destiny right here, right now. And just speak out loud. How are you creating your own destiny? What decisions are you making? What actions are you taking? Who are you becoming right now? As you show up for yourself the way that you needed someone to show up for you as you were a child. You can do that right here, right now. Repeating after me. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for taking this long. I forgive myself for resisting. I didn't know any better. And I forgive those around me who role modeled this to me. It's okay for me to let go of their trauma now. It's not mine to carry. It doesn't need to define me. I'm stepping into my own personal truth. I'm reclaiming my birthright. And I'm coming forward as my truest self because I am free. I am free to be seen. I'm free to be heard. I'm free to be known. And I'm free to expand and spread my wings. The world is ready for me. The world is waiting for me. My time has come, and I let go of all stories of lack and limitation, fear and doubt, because it's not my truth. And I'm coming into who and what I really am. I'm coming back alive. And as I take action, every single step is rebuilding trust with myself. Taking a deep breath in. And so just say out loud, who are you becoming? What actions are you going to take? What is the impact of you becoming that person and taking those actions? Say it out loud as you tap on the body, staying connected to your breath. You're doing a great job. Repeating after me now. I am ready. I am willing. I am able to live my best life right here, right now. I am supported. I am encouraged. And I am witnessed in celebration as I live my best life. People want the best for me. Everyone is on my team. All things are happening for my good. I am here, right now. And now just saying anything else that you want to say, tapping all of your body as we close in this tapping session. Breathing it in, saying any other affirmations that you want to reprogram the subconscious mind with. I love myself. I accept myself. I am more than enough. I am worthy and deserving of all the love, joy, peace, and fulfillment in the universe. And so it is. Amen. Wow. So noticing, how do you feel? How does your body feel? How does your energy feel? This is a powerful practice. Tapping is a very powerful practice for coming back into your center and taking a shower, bathing off all those stuck emotions and energies. Because emotion is energy in motion. And whenever we feel weighed down by grief, sadness, anger, fear, it's because there's just stuck emotion. So easy to get it moving. And so I'm going to close this in today with you by sharing one of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Seuss himself. So let's see here. Where did I write this down? All right. So from Dr. Seuss, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you know, the more places you'll go. And so this is just an invitation for you to really take the reins of your life into your own hand and to practice continuous education. We have all of these systems of school set up to make us believe that that is the place to learn and the time to learn and what to learn. But the truth is, as human beings, we are constantly evolving. And as our beliefs create our reality, you can help determine what it is that you believe. If there's something out there that you want to accomplish, look and see who's done it before. Discover your role models and then study your role models. Follow in their footpath. You can do this. The more that you put their consciousness into your consciousness, the more that you can merge, become a steward and an actor of those same things. You don't know anything in a field that you are interested in that lights you up and you don't know why, just start studying it. Following the energy, following the excitement is always going to lead you on your own path of self-becoming, self-actualization. And so I'm just going to close this in here, the final screen, inviting you guys into a giveaway that is happening. Super exciting. If you aren't already aware, there is a giveaway. So we just did a tapping and I am offering a free session for everybody who shares this on social media. So if you invite your friends to this, if you post it and you tag it in your stories, every time that you do that, you're entered into a drawing to win a free healing session with me. And we can do a one-on-one tap that is designed specifically for you and overcoming any of your roadblocks and hurdles. We can do a voice activation session, or we can do a clarity call. There's also another giveaway that's happening. It's very exciting. Starting next week after the end of this retreat, the next season of Harmonize is launching. Harmonize is a 6-week voice activation course with 12 live coaching sessions where I teach you the science and the singing and the communication formulas that help bring your visions into reality. Our words are central to taking our thoughts and bringing it into the manifested to share with other people. Knowing how to communicate that is central to actually working in collaboration and harmony with others. We're not meant to do this on our own. We're meant to do it with others. Communication is key to not only sharing your ideas, but to doing it alongside with others. And so for those of you who are attending live to this event, for every time that you attend live, you're being put into a drawing to receive a full scholarship to this course. And if you know that this is something that you want to do, just send me an email and we'll see if we can get you into the summer season. It repeats every single season. And then finally, I'm asking for your help. I'm launching a Harmonized Teacher Training Certification, really bringing people deep into this work of understanding how to speak with clarity, confidence, and compassion, and using voice activation as a tool to tune our mind, body, and spirit so that we can take forward momentum in our life from a place of self-assuredness and self-knowing that's connected to our soul and our cosmic connection. Right now, I need your help because I'm interviewing people on a 30-minute call with some key core questions to better understand how to shape and develop the curriculum. And I want to hear from you. You are the primary people that I want to be working with, that I want to be activating, that I want you taking this modality into the world, into your communities, and becoming a teacher and steward of the knowledge yourself. So if you are interested in the voice, in empowerment, in artistic, authentic self-expression, I want to hear from you. Send me an email and we'll set up a call time so that I can understand better how to develop this course. And on the back end, I'll give you something. I'm not sure what yet, but it'll be something good. And once again, if any of this work calls to you, I do one-on-one coaching, one-on-one mentorship, and individual healing sessions. If that's something that you want to do, just send me an email and we'll connect over it. Mahalo for being here for today. I see you, I love you, and together we are rising. Goodbye.